What is up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of the Anti-Gravity Group podcast. My name is Braden Carlson.
My name is Taylor.
My name is Shane, or as you might know me, Postart.
My name is Matthew, or as you may know me as Macho Matt, maybe.
That is right, folks. Macho Matt has returned to us.
Woo!
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
Special episode.
There he is.
Thank you.
Even
Thank
though
you all,
he
fans.
did not join us in Colorado last weekend.
Yeah, it's interesting for him to be here for the NSL recap episode because that's what we're talking about today is things that happened at NSL Colorado.
Well,
but it's kind of fun because Matt gets to be like,
oh yeah, that happened.
Matt gets to be like a live studio audience for other folks that weren't at NSL. So we get to talk about all of the things that happened. The three of us all at least attempted to fly a rocket, and we'll explain what that means here in a little bit. But I do have a couple things I wanted to front load. We got some emails and stuff. So before we get into the segment and the mailbag associated with it, I thought it'd be fun to answer the emails up front. Contact at aggpodcast.com if you have a question or comment or just a fun story to tell us. But this one has pictures, which is why
I was just picturing emails on emails of just rambling because you said a fun story.
A fun story to tell us? Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it happens, right? What does it matter? So yeah, tell us fun stories or whatever, but I'm going to load this up, right? Because we had someone reach out for some pictures so that they could build a very specific rocket. And Matt, I think you're really going to love this.
All right, let's see it.
Oh, no.
So, this is a rocket that somebody built.
Oh, wow.
It's a Dr. Rocket 753840 case, imagined as a rocket. I got to stop and share the next one.
Is that an actual case?
No.
It looks so good.
It's super good. And wait, it gets better. Because for the folks that can't see, it's a tube fin rocket that looks exactly like a 753840 case with the correct measurements and everything. But it even says, and I'll read it out for the listeners. Warning. Flammable when loaded. Macho Matt will not provide any form of compensation, especially to Jesse Taylor, if lost at a launch. Load only when charged 9-volt batteries that are not in excess of 8 months old.
That is great.
Caution, after firing, motor is hot. Keep out of reach of the AGG. Manufactured by Nigel the Rocket Cat. Under license by Rocket for rocket blocks and 9-volt batteries. Dude,
my gosh.
Every meme. That is
so
absolutely amazing.
That's
Hold on, I gotta
It's
stop.
serial number 69.
Yeah.
Who
did
this again?
He only provided the name Spicoli in the email.
Well done, Spicoli.
And we actually
amazing.
there's a video of it as well. And
what?
so I'm uploading it to YouTube in the background so that we can watch it.
It's just
on the
meme
podcast.
on meme.
Yeah,
It
dude.
really is.
That is a
The
perfect
deep
meme
cut
rocket.
is this is Rocket from Rocket Vlogs. I was like, man, this guy's all in. So it's a big round of applause. That is an amazing piece of art right there. So I'm gonna upload that video, like I said, so we can watch it. I based on what he said in the email accompanying the video, it went about as well as Taylor's 753840 case. But we'll get to see that here in a little bit. But
can we put that that image of the engraving up for the cover photo on the AGG Facebook?
oh yeah, that would be good actually. I'll email him and make sure he's cool with that.
Yeah.
Dude, how crazy would it be to get some custom hardware with that actually, like laser engraved?
Oh my god.
I would actually pay for that and maybe give one to Taylor.
Okay, for what you wish for, because we know who can make it happen.
Yeah.
All right, that's crazy. And then
instead of the
one-
little Dr. Rocket guy, it's Nigel.
Oh, dude, that would be sick.
Yeah.
Oh my god. All right, so here's what we got going on. There's one more. This one was just an email to me, but I thought it would be fun to touch on the hive mind here a little bit because he said it's a question for me and Taylor. He did write Jesse, but it's this is the guy that had the Mach 2 that his ejection charge was in the tip of his nose and it blew a hole in it. If you saw that post on Facebook,
yeah.
and he was asking about it, and he said it's a Mach 2 with a 0.5 gram charge. The secondary didn't fire, and it just blew a hole in the tip of the nose cone, and he ground tested, and everything was fine. And I just wanted to bring this up because a lot of people were commenting about how the tip of the nose cone is the weakest point, and that's something that he asked about in this email. And of course, we don't have any definitive answers here, but I just wanted to see if everybody agrees with my take.
If it's a graphite tip,
it's not.
Oh,
as far as I know, actually. Now I need to ask him about that. But
some of the smaller cones are, I think.
I don't know if Tim still does it, but my Mach 2 came with aluminum tip, both the original nose cone and the one I have now. But here's my thinking. I guess I could see with the graphite tip, but it blew a hole in the actual filament winding beneath the tip of the nose. And that was, I think, a lot of that's the weakest part of the nose cone is like remnant thinking from the gel coat nose cones, where the last inch of the nose cone wasn't any fiberglass at all. It was just gel coat.
What kind of charge did he have?
It was a 0.5 gram.
But I mean, containment?
Yeah, that I don't know. But my thinking anyway is that can't really be the case that that's the weakest part of a filament wound nose cone, because that is where the winder doubles back, right? That's where the wind angle is going to be the tightest theoretically, and a mandrel has overrun on each end that you then cut off. So if nothing else, in my head, it makes sense that the ends should be at least consistent with the middle, not better or worse.
Yeah, assuming it's aluminum kit tip nose cone. I mean, it's all the same, at least all kind of.
Right.
I mean, what I could see happening is if it was a really tight pack, if somehow everything was so tight in there that you basically pushed your charge completely up in the tip and basically, made a firecracker. I can see that blowing the side out, I guess. But it would have to be really tight for that to be the path of resistance.
Right.
Or least
and
resistance.
That's why I think most likely is that he got a bad nose cone that just up at the tip happened to have some not properly wetted out glass. But that's all I got for you. I just thought it'd be interesting to get your guys' thoughts and throw it to the comments. So if you're watching this on YouTube, please leave a comment about what you think about the tip of a filament wound nose cone being the weakest spot, because I just don't think it is. I don't think that makes sense in the case of a filament wound nose cone. Postar, you're shaking your head. What do you think there?
I was agreeing with you. I don't think it is the weakest.
Oh, I see. Well, I took it personally. Okay, so I was ready to throw down. So you're lucky.
You're the weakest part of the nose cone, Braden.
That's rude, Matt.
The weakest part of the nose cone is really the friends we made along the way.
Yeah, that's true. The real weakest part of the nose cone. Okay, so this video is actually ready. So if you're listening to this on Apple or Spotify or whatever else, you might want to pop over to YouTube real quick. Check this out, because this is the 753840 custom manufactured by Nigel the Rocket Fat. I almost said Rocket Factory.
He is a okay weight for
He's big boned.
age.
He's a big one.
Okay, here we go. Oh, there's music. Is this... this might be Mini Midwest Power.
That's what I was wondering.
Oh, yeah, it's Tim for sure.
They have a little in there now, so it should work. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Hey, look. Oh, no, it's separated.
Oh no!
Oh,
Boom. And there it is.
it did its best impression.
Yeah, another
Yeah.
75, 38, 40 in a hole in the ground. Right where they belong. Right, Matt?
Yeah, I guess. I suppose so.
All right. Well, let's talk about NSL. I think Taylor should start us off here. Oh, that got loud. My bad.
Did you do that,
everybody.
Taylor? Is that you?
No.
I had him record a drum roll and send it my way. Yeah.
Should I go do a real one from the other room?
Just do it on the laptop. Just kidding.
We'll get one made from you some other time. But I think right now, what you should do is tell the people about your NSL flight.
Well, I went to NSL and Braden and Postart were there, and I brought a rocket, and then Saturday it was too windy for us to fly. So
and that's it. So what I did at NSL,
and so I decided to just go home. No, Sunday I made it a point I drove all the way out here basically to fly this rocket. So I got ready as early as I could, and it was a 3-inch minimum diameter rocket on an M685. Basically a 7680 case with a tiny 4-inch coupler glued in and a 6-to-1 filament wound nose cone with Arcus fins, and it ended up working perfectly for the most part. I mean, but it was kind of an excruciating flight lead up to the flight because I just kept burning igniters. Like this, I've never went through this many igniters on a high power launch.
you went out there 4 times, right?
Wow.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was super peed.
He was so
Super
done with
peed
that
off.
S. So done with that S. He really was too. He was like, the third time, he's like, "You are kidding me!" Just like he was ready to start throwing stuff.
And I was using lipos, and since I'm so old school, I really don't know the how much time I really have before they just die, and I didn't want to do my best Macho Matt 3840 impression.
Smart.
So,
It's worth reminding the people that this was a blue 7680 case that you've basically been searching for like 3 years now.
Yeah, I guess for the backstory, I bought my first 7680 case, which was a blue Rouse Tech, 10 years ago for my very first minimum diameter 3-inch rocket. So we're coming up on 10 years for my first minimum diameter rocket that I flew on an M685 successfully, and I flew that rocket 3 or 4 times before I lost it. And then I went through 2 other 7680 cases that were just black Aerotech ones, and then I had a M685 that I had ordered because I felt like I had unfinished business with it. Because I'm like, I needed to get one more good one, and then I accidentally destroyed the case that I ordered with it, trying to fly an M3700 that KO'd. And so then I was kind of just peed off again, and threw the motor in the closet for a rainy day until we decided last year that we were going to go to Alamosa this year. And so I was like, well, I guess that I have that motor, so I should just fly that. And I was like, I don't have a case. So I'm like, well, we'll just put that off as long as we can. Then Braden gets a lead on 2 blue Rouse Tech 7680 cases.
Brand new
like,
unfired ones too.
Yeah. And I'm like, this is amazing, but also had to be for the first thing I'm going to do with it is try to put it to 40,000 feet in a like super compact minimum diameter rocket when the last 2 that I've tried to fly had issues, which admittedly were both dumb issues, but it doesn't mean I wouldn't make another dumb, stupid mistake. Like
And shout out to Chase Lang real quick for putting me onto those 2 cases, by the way.
Oh, I didn't know that was his doing.
Yeah, he's like, oh, this guy's got 2 of them. They're brand new because he used to be a vendor. And I was like, oh, that's a financial problem. Give me his contact info. I almost
And
just
Braden's
bought him, and then I was going to be like, Taylor, guess what? You owe me money. But I was like, maybe not.
Of course, as soon as Braden asked, I was like, yes, of course I want it.
Yeah, you're like, I mean, yeah, I can't afford it, but obviously. I was like, that's the
Yeah,
story of rocketry.
Yeah, I know, but that one I had to. I'm like, I have the whole 75 set, but I was missing that case, and no one ever wants to get rid of that case.
And now you've done it.
And we know they just, they just love going straight into the ground. I'm sure
they love dirt.
We lose
They're
more
like
and more every
toddlers.
year.
They just want to play in the dirt and hurt themselves, just like children.
And then on top of that, for this flight, I decided this would be a great time to try GPS. So I bought a featherweight GPS system, which is expensive. And I also decided that I needed a Blue Raven, which is also expensive.
Man really opened up the credit card and said, let it eat on this one.
And I got an Altus Easy Mini to put in there. So I had a $500 of brand new electronics plus a brand new blue 7680 case, and the rocket didn't really cost very much.
There's a lot on the line.
Carbon fins did, but anyway, I didn't care. I just wanted my electronics and my motor case back. So I'm sitting here burning igniters like it's the cool thing to do. 2 hours went by from when I put it on the pad until it launched.
Dang.
And then the last time I went out there, Wayne Comfort and Sharon Hodges were out there, and I'm like, you guys fly a lot of lipos, right? Like, this rocket's been out here for 2 hours. How long do I have with 1S lipos? And they're like, well, I would give it one more shot, and then if that's not it, then I'd take it off. But then I remembered after that I have a Blue Raven, and I can actually look at the voltage. And so everything looked good. So I felt a lot better about it then.
I don't think we can understate how amazing featherweight products are. It's just so simple and good.
Yeah. So I'm a
I got
big
to meet
electronics.
Adrian.
I'm an electronics idiot. And that's why I've been stuck in my old school ways for so long. But the featherweight stuff really makes it way too easy. I thought I was going to have to learn how to use it and stuff. You
What's
really
funny-
just turn it on and get the app, and it just does it all.
Nice.
Yeah. So Eric Beavers was telling me, we got to meet him in person for the first time. Longtime Patreon supporter and my boss. But he was telling me that somebody wound up using the same ground station channel as his, so their rocket got lost because they were tracking Eric's transmitter instead of the one in their rocket. And then I guess there was some confusion in thinking that Eric's receiver would have been picking up the other transmitter, but that's not what happened. They were both just tracking Eric's rocket. But anyway, what I'm getting at here is he was like, it's not like it takes a little bit of setting up. It's not like Apple level of simplicity because people don't understand that. And I was like, actually though, like compared to every other piece of rocketry electronics, it really is like Apple levels
it pretty
of
much
simplicity.
is. You can even change the name of the stuff. So if you just took the time to put your name on the transmitter or whatever, I'm pretty
It's
sure
so
you can
crazy
do that,
though.
right?
Like with the GPS stuff, I turned the transmitter and the ground station on for the first time and immediately just boop, popped up in the app and then connected to my phone.
Yeah, I
was like,
couldn't
how?
believe I couldn't believe I didn't have to input anything or press a button to get it to connect. It just you turned it on and it just did it.
Dude, Matt's
I'm like-
about to guap out. The look on his face,
Dude.
I see it.
Dude, Matt, you will really enjoy the.
You're trying to
If you
figure out how
don't,
to say
if
this.
you don't
in
want
a
to
real
buy
nice
one,
way.
just wait until Airfest and I will fly it in something, and then I'll let you play with the phone app. And you,
Okay, okay. I think I would really like that. I could put it in my Mozzie, maybe.
Okay,
Or
well, I will say though, actually, Eric was using Inverted Pursuits makes a 3D printed like sled that you can just put on a shock cord
Yeah,
for the
looks pretty
transmitter. He
nice.
used it in a bunch of stuff, and it was awesome.
It has a nice little slot where the shot cord can go through it or whatever.
Yep. All right. Well, you've teased the people long enough, Taylor. What happened with your flight?
So after 2 hours,
It was maybe the straightest flight I've ever seen. I don't know. It was unbelievably straight. So we just eyeballed so Braden brought his new tower out and we set it up and we all forgot to bring a level. So we just eyeballed it, used the old carpenter eye, and once again, because I had the featherweight on board, I was able to look at the data and it said launch pad angle 1.6 degrees.
Yeah. Dude, we eyeballed the S out of that thing. Oh my God. And then with 100-mile-an-hour wind shear at burnout, you were still like 10 degrees off vertical or something like that?
Not at burnout, I don't think, but of course I don't really know what altitude it burned out at. Probably like
I guess you could
20?
look at the data. Yeah,
I don't
probably
know.
something like that. But it's still, I mean, the winds aloft were gnarly.
Yeah, especially so once you got above like 30, got crazy.
At one point I looked
75-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah, at Taylor's receiver on his phone, and it was like horizontal velocity. It was like 97 feet per second.
dang,
It was going faster sideways than it was coming down.
dude, that's crazy.
It said at apogee deployment, it was like 200 feet per second or something.
Wow,
That's like 130 miles an hour or something, right?
Dang.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy. And it wasn't that the rocket was going sideways because it was going very straight. I mean, I'm sure
probably was at that point.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Is it wasn't because the rocket was flying crooked. It was just all wind that had given you all this horizontal velocity.
Yeah, so it simmed to 45,000, and I kind of think it might have made it if it weren't so windy up there. Or at least would have been a couple thousand more than I got, because it's like an obscene amount of wind at that altitude when it's not going super fast.
So what was
you were doing
apogee?
I was gonna say you're doing like the ultimate clickbait storytelling. You just haven't told people how high it went.
Try this one.
People are probably like, "Oh my God, just say how high it went."
It went. Oh no, 41,271 feet. So that is the altitude from the Easy Mini, and it's the highest reported altitude. So that's what I'm going with. The GPS said 40,400 something. I don't know.
All
It's
right,
like
so at least
like
2 data points
800 feet less, but
still,
everyone knows the highest one is correct.
Advertise.
Yes.
yeah.
The highest one is always right.
Taylor, it would have been cool if you would have beeped it out, though. I think you're getting ready to, tell people the altitude in beeps. that would have been the play there.
You picking up what I'm putting down?
Boop. Beep, 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 beep.
That's awesome.
Woo.
What's really crazy is so the current M altitude record is actually held from Australia, I believe.
Is it like 46 or something?
45,554, which is pretty insane. Oh wait, no. Oh yeah, that's the current one. Kurt Von Delius did 45,300 and change at BlackRock though, which is crazy.
Yeah,
and that's what I was getting at. I don't know the elevation of that Australia launch site, but Kurt Von Delius did that flight like 6,000 feet lower starting altitude than Alamosa, which is just insane. So I'm not trying to take away from your achievement, Taylor, because it is good, but we've all acknowledged that we did these flights at Alamosa because they go so much higher there.
I am admittedly on cheater level, but also this is like a medium M. So when you think about it like that, it's sort of like the handicap plays out.
Yeah, actually, you know what motor Kurt Von Delius used?
The M1450?
Yes, sir. The best M motor there ever was.
Yeah.
If anybody is listening and happens to have one, maybe especially if you live an hour from me and your name's David and you feel like selling one, give me a ring. I
He's
want to
like,
fly
nah,
one so
I'm good,
bad. Yeah,
actually.
he wouldn't tell me. I was waiting to discuss
He
his.
probably has like 20.
I don't know, but if he wants to trade for some AMW stuff or trade for just money, anything, I
He's
want
like,
one.
no, I have enough. I'm good, thank you. I really like
Life
these
goals.
M1450s a lot more.
You know what though? There are certain things that I'm like that with too. Like my Les Paul.
Yeah.
I could wipe out such a big chunk of debt if I just sold my Les Paul. Like it's an extremely expensive guitar that I have no business owning. But I'm like, I don't know though. No amount of money is. I mean, the thing's probably worth $5,000, and for some reason, if anybody was going to give me $5,000 for pretty much anything else that I own, I would be like, yeah, dude, take it. Even the Fiesta, probably. But with that guitar, I'm like, I don't know. I think I'm good on money. Anyway,
Yeah, I'm not going to sell any of my motor cases, so
that's right. Exactly. Okay, well, I think we should have Postart go next, but first we got to give it up for Taylor. 41,000 feet.
I will, and this was my first. Well, we can talk more about that later. I want to discuss a little bit about tracking later, but I will say it landed 4.5 miles away because of the crazy wind at altitude, which is by far the furthest recovery I've ever done.
Did you lose connection on the GPS when it landed?
I don't know.
Dude,
I had the coordinates, so I wasn't really worried about it.
yeah. Well, your last packet was on the ground though, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. 4.5 miles away and a ground elevation packet.
Dude, I didn't really lose lock at all for like the whole flight.
You probably did while it was accelerating. You were just watching the rocket because that's what
Yeah.
the phenomenon that I had. I was like, dude, it didn't even lock out when it went Mach. And Alex was like, well, yeah, it did. You just didn't see it because you were watching.
But
the rocket. I was like, oh, good point.
Basically, it burned out, and then I was like, whoa. And then I'm like, wait, I have data to look at now. And so then I looked at the phone, and it was still going up. And then so right when I opened the app, I saw the altitude climb at like 35, 38, 40. Oh, my God.
Dude, it's
that was
so
really,
fun.
The instant gratification from that.
I was going to say, it's like a slot machine.
Yeah. You're like, go.
Keep getting bigger.
So like when like Braden, he's like 15, 17, 19, 9, 9, 9. Okay. But that's probably nothing. Well, it probably lost block or something there.
Yeah, no, I definitely didn't even get to that this weekend. We'll talk about that here in a minute. I think Postart should go next.
I think Matt should build a rocket to go 20,000 feet so he can
Yeah.
beat Braden to it.
Oh my God. I was going to say that after this, we should talk to Matt about building something for Alamosa next year since they have one more year of NSL there. But I see we want to throw shade. All right. Well, actually, you
It's
want
not
to
really
do us a
throwing
favor real
shade.
quick?
I just think it would
Hold
be
up your
funny.
rocket
It would
real
be a
quick,
good
Taylor.
meme.
Competition.
Show the people your rocket.
Yeah, what does it look like? What color?
Oh, disqualified.
Why?
There's a couple fins missing. If we're gonna be like this today, if we're
You see any
choosing
fins
violence,
missing?
How can you tell?
Yeah.
I don't see anything.
Yeah, can you do a little spin?
yeah. Let's see what the other side
Yeah.
looks like.
Oh, okay. Oh, look at that.
See, I told you it's good.
It was those non-vacuumed fillets that did you in for sure.
Yeah, it wasn't the 80 feet per second that I hit the ground.
No. Oh yeah, your main
yeah,
didn't come out.
You didn't
Yeah,
explain
you
what
didn't
happened.
mention that.
With the main, so I used a homemade cable cutter, and I think I lost the energetics that would have broken the cable.
The thing that's supposed to work is in separating the two pieces.
Yeah,
was,
so basically,
not present,
I made the
incidentally.
I made the plug. I don't. It's hard to explain. I don't really want to explain though. It's made from a 357 shell, and so basically you have a bullet like you don't, well, you have the casing without the bullet, and you make a little plug to go in it, and then you drill a hole where the zip tie goes through, and basically you have an E-match in there with a little bit of black powder, and it'll cut the cable. Well, when I started to prep the rocket, because I prepped all that stuff at home, and so when I got to the launch site, I was like, basically all I had to do was turn the GPS on and pack the chute and everything. So I noticed there's a little bit of black powder granules that made it on the out, because I had a piece of tape kind of holding it all together, and I noticed a little bit of black powder there, and I was like, that's weird, but I overfilled it, so it's probably good. And it did, which is funny because I didn't even have the zip tie in at this point. I could have pulled it apart and looked, and I chose
Super
not
easily.
To.
Yeah,
I don't know why I decided to do that. Really stupid on my part, but yeah. And so I'm like, it'll be fine. And then once again, this is I was watching on the GPS, just like, here's when the main, and it's on the ground. Okay, cool. 80 feet per second. That's awesome.
Yeah, turns out the little bit of granules was all of it, perhaps.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, it
Oops,
probably all came
granules.
out in the back of my rental car. So
If you're interested in a visual representation of what Taylor's talking about, though, you can actually go read the first thing that I ever had published ever before I had any aspirations of being a professional writer. I think I was 14 or 15 at the time. I wrote an article for the Apogee Peak of Flight newsletter talking about how to make that. And I shout out to Tony Alcacer because like I just copied his design and wrote an article about it. It's not like I was like, I came up with this. Or maybe I did. I don't know. I was 14 and stupid. That's not out of the side of the realm of possibility at all. But I did not accredit him for that at all.
I believe there are some posts on the Rocketry forum where you said, that's very similar to how I did mine. And Tony did not reply.
Well, that reminds me that I need to delete my Rocketry forum account forever and start fresh.
The good news is, unless you're doing some deep dives, you won't come across most of that.
Dude, it would be such a nightmare to try and delete them all, too. It's like 4,500 posts or something like that.
My
I was
God.
a Rocketry forum terrorist, to put it simply.
Who had more, Scrap Daddy or Ben?
No, Ben did have a lot on the old one, but I
He
think
had a
Scrap
run.
Daddy's, I think he's the winner.
Or Black Brant?
Black Brand, yeah. God. What a throwback. All right, well, I say we hand the torch to Postart, but congrats again, Taylor, for your flight.
Thank you.
All right.
Well,
What do we got? Oh, the missing fins.
oh yeah.
How bubbly are those
Right.
fillets? How's it look?
Did Postart tell you?
I might have.
I did see them,
can
but
talk about it later.
I didn't process it. And then after he said that, I was like, oh, yeah, they did kind
So
of look
what's
like
funny
Swiss
is-
cheese.
One side of it is dense, and the other side is not. And I remember there was one set where I waited too long, and I think it just wasn't able to flow out. Like I waited for the epoxy to get too thick. I was too greedy.
You got to get the vacuum chamber, dude. All right, Postart, take it away.
All right. Like Taylor, I also set a personal altitude record, and mine is the same as his. If you flip the numbers around, I put a K1275 that I got from Eric Beavers. Shout out to him. In my 3-inch Punisher, and I got 14,000 and change. So
Nice.
it was a pretty
A
good
new-
flight.
New personal
What?
best.
Yeah. It landed like a quarter mile away from the rod it took off from, and like 100 feet off the road. So it was super easy recovery.
Wow.
That's pretty good altitude. Taylor, how high does yours go on K1275 in Argonia?
I don't know, because I want to say like 13.
Yeah, because mine did like 12 and a half at Tripoli, Idaho with a pretty
I want
hectic
to say it's.
weather
I want
cog.
to say like 13.5 for like a 2560.
But overall, Got a little bonus altitude from the Alamosa elevation, and
Yeah.
just I mean that combo just rips. If you have a 3-inch
Yeah, it's
Punisher,
so
put a
good.
K1275 in it.
So
It's
good.
so sick. It is
Really,
just
any 20,
violent.
2560 load, they're all good.
Matt, are you
Whoa.
taking notes?
Yeah.
Is it gonna be ready for Airfest, Matt?
The Punisher?
Yeah.
The answer should be yes.
Yes, it's got to be. It's got to be.
You could do a K1275 there.
Otherwise,
Really
you
come
don't
out
get any
swinging.
diet DDP.
Oh,
Dang.
If you just do 1/8 of a fillet a day, I think.
no, don't listen. Just do the whole fillet. You're gonna create a lot of problems if you don't.
Okay, here you go. Do 1 fillet a week until Airfest, and I think you
Honestly,
can do it.
That should be able to do it.
I would advise though doing 2 because when you lay the rocket down, it kind of allocates itself to doing 2 at once. You know what I mean? Like when it's laying down with 1 fin down, there's 2 spots that could use fillets.
Well, he still doesn't have the motor mount in, so
Yeah.
Oh, well, we'll do that
Yeah,
first.
maybe
and that's
do that
fine.
first.
I need to get that taken care of.
You got this, Matt. We believe in you. Can we hear it
Thank
from
you.
the people, please? See, they
Wow,
believe in
that
you.
was
throw
very
some,
abrupt.
throw some featherweight electronics in there so you can
Yeah.
play with. Look at your
do you have
phone.
some I can borrow, Taylor?
No, I'm not borrowing anything anymore.
Well, if Adrian happens to be listening, we do all kinds of segmented shout outs and ad reads for free stuff around here on the Anti-Gravity Group podcast. So if you happen to hear this, Adrian, send us a message.
I got
Anyway,
the cheapest Blue Raven this
oh
weekend.
yeah, Postart got
Tart's raffle luck once again.
Yeah.
Wow.
Won a Blue
$20,
Raven
right?
$20 worth of raffle tickets.
dude, the look on your face, you're holding the box and you're just like running towards me. I was like, no way, did you win a Blue Raven? And you're like, yeah, and just like sprinted up. I was like, that's
He brought
crazy.
it back, and I'm like, what is that? I want a Blue Raven. I'm like,
She's
no
like, oh, I just paid
way.
$175 for one of those. That's
Yeah.
really cool. I'm
Dude,
happy
I've been
for you.
wanting one so bad.
It's sick.
At least it was
Oh.
Postart though, and not Braden.
I do. My raffle luck does not hit. It's funny because this was one of those raffles where I was like, there's enough stuff there that it's like almost guaranteed that everybody who bought a ticket should get something. And I didn't.
All my
But-
raffle luck was like when I was younger, so I feel like I'm all out.
My
Which
first
is probably the best
rocketry
time for that to work.
Yeah, honestly. My first raffle win was at Midwest Power last year. I got a Aeropack $50 gift certificate, which was sick. Anyway, I guess I'll tell my story now. I just uploaded a video about an hour ago called My Rocket Blew Up Sad Face. So spoiler alert.
Yeah,
It didn't
I'm
go
like, Taylor.
great. So here's the thing. The Cesaroni K300. I have a bit of a checkered history with this motor. Those who've been watching for a long time might remember my Rocket Scaredy Cat. It was my first minimum diameter rocket ever. A K300, and without the tail cone, I think it was simming to around 21,000 feet at Airfest a few years ago. Despite Matt and I hiking for hours in ankle-deep mud, shout out our boy Dirt, the farm dog. That's where we met Dirt. Never found the rocket. We know it deployed, and that's cool. But yeah, since then I've had a little bit of a vendetta out for the old K300. And last year at Airfest, there happened to be one sitting in the Wildman trailer. I decided to buy it, even though for the past few years they've kind of been doing this cool thing where they burn through the case at the nozzle end with some fair consistency, or fail at the forward end, or just, blow up in general. So I said, you know what? We'll gamble it anyway. I prepped my Wildman Mach 2 that I built for the Wildman video. Sanded it all down into like a sort of a artistic little bit of a I don't know. I think Eric said it looks like a Jackson Pollock painting. I thought it looked pretty cool. And then somebody
Yeah, I
walked
was
up to
about
me
it.
when I was RSOing it, and he's like, "Whoa, was you just trying to make the ugliest rocket ever?" And I was like, "Yeah, man." Basically, he's like, "Oh, is that actually what you did?" I was like, "Oh, you weren't joking." Yeah, me neither. I didn't think it was cool. This thing's an ugly piece of S. Am I right?
I thought it looked cool because it was so smooth.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
wet
liked
sanded
it.
it with like 1,000 grit
Yeah.
sandpaper, and so the transitions weren't there. You couldn't feel them, but it
Yeah.
just you could see them, and it was fun because I painted that rocket in the rain, so there was a ton of runs. So it just like made like this crazy pattern once I sanded it all down. So now I want to paint a rocket like that again.
Just like us in Alamosa after eating the late night strombolis in the microwave.
dude. Yeah, we got some late night Walmart strombolis after drinking for 8 straight hours, basically, because we went to the rocket social thing.
Yeah.
It was 4 p.m. was when it started. And we started drinking, and we went till like 11:30, and then thought, what caps this off better than not drinking water all day? A couple strombolis from the hotel microwave,
and
of course.
sweating in the hot tub.
Yeah, really stirring up, cooking everything good in
Drinking
there.
no water the entire day.
Wow.
Yeah, so Taylor and I both had a rough time.
Did you guys
So
eat
anyway.
any zero bars or anything? Any candy bars?
No
Oh.
candy. Oh, well, did we have candy? It's so hard to... We got Frosties at Wendy's. We
did get
immediately
Frosties.
went hard and hit the 50-piece...
Biscoff cookies.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Taylor-
yeah.
Oh, was that the same night as the Stromboli?
I
You
think I
dumped
had
the whole sleeve of cookies on top of that, too?
I did, but we shared them the night before.
Yeah. The whole sleeve of
With the
cookies
50
with the
nuggets.
Stromboli.
God.
Dude,
We got the 50 nuggets from Wendy's.
we need Matt to
Dang.
balance us out here. Matt, you need to bring us some healthy the
Yeah, some
breakfast
turkey-
burritos with the
Yeah,
turkey
some turkey
sausage.
burritos.
again.
Yeah,
no,
oh,
please
man.
don't.
Anyway, so back to my rocket. This is all pertinent information, of course. Yeah, it made it about 150 feet up and then burned through the side of the closure and went into a death spiral, and it was fascinating. The cool part is that it was so violent that it snapped my shock cord. So when the twist and taped, shout out twist and tape, altimeter fired my
hate
charges. I hate that. When those fired, the electronics base safely made its way away from the rocket, which then came in ballistic and sat on the ground and was on fire for a little while. So, you know,
Man.
we knew it was a possibility, and I talked to Chris Short, and he was like, I'd say try and warranty it. So I was like looking at the CTI stuff, and they're like, yeah, so it's warranted for 1 year from the date of manufacture, and mine's batch dated in 2021. So it looks like I'm up S's Creek without a paddle on that one, boys. But Chris Short said that I reach out, I might still be able to get a case out of him. But if nothing else, we got some cool art and a fun video. But it was simming like with some pretty conservative settings on RAS Aero to like 37,500 feet. So I like to think it would have been up there, but we got one more year at Alamosa for NSL, and there's one other motor I've got my eyes on to give this a shot again. So we're gonna give it a try, the old K motor flight again next year. So that begs the question, Matt, what are you bringing next year?
To Alamosa.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully a fully built 3-inch Punisher.
With a K1275?
I suppose we can put one of those in there.
You don't want to really go for broke? Get some altitude out of it?
I think he's going to get a Mach 2.
Dude, you should get a Mach 2. They're $110.
What?
It's such a
Really?
deal.
I don't know which one that is. I want to.
Dude, I ordered a nose cone and bulk plates for mine, and for like $50 more, I could have just had the whole rocket.
Let's
It's a minimum diameter of 54, and it comes with Proline 4500 to put it together and everything. It like comes with epoxy. It comes with all the hardware. You just need to put
Can you
parachute in.
imagine what kind of a mess Matt would make with that stuff?
No, there's a great
Proline?
video on the Wildman
I do
Rocketry
see
YouTube
assembly
channel.
video.
Yeah, you just cut out all the stuff that went.
It was
made
very
it look
easy.
sloppy.
I had no problems the entire time.
Definitely no breakdowns.
No issues.
Wow.
No epoxy spilled all over the white table that I then had to sand to get the epoxy color off of. None of that happened. Yeah,
I actually made. I
go
actually
ahead.
made a second flight while I was at NSL. I brought my 3-inch Punisher, all reliable, on a AMW J365 skid mark.
It was
and
a
it
pretty
was
decent
perfect.
one too. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It was good.
But that I had to walk a whole lot longer for that than I did for the minimum diameter rocket, because the M685 flight, despite landing 4.5 miles away, only landed 1,000 feet from the road. I don't know how far the Punisher landed, but it was a long walk, and I couldn't drive there.
And how
but
high
this
did it
brings
go?
me to 8,500 feet.
So Pop Starts went almost double and landed way closer when you flew them almost exactly at the same time.
Yeah, mine had a little bit of a wiggle off the pad though. His went a lot straighter.
No, it's
Yeah.
like my 5-inch Punisher when we flew M4500s.
Oh,
Mine landed 3.5 miles away.
also I had a 12-inch drogue in there, which is dumb. I should take that out.
Yeah,
I
no
had a
drogues.
reefed 12-inch with a hole in it.
We're
So you basically
strictly
had a streamer.
drogeless people now, except for 12-inch Punishers.
Yeah,
You know what?
I put a drogue in because I felt like it was the right thing to do, because people gave me so much crap about flying head-in deploy drogeless, but I did it forever. So I should just go back to that.
I just feel like it's going to figure out a way to streamline. But my new thing, I think, is just the Nomex protector. Because I just left it in
Yeah?
my 54, and I was like, this is such a big Nomex protector. It's got to be doing something. All you need is for the nose cone to not do this, and then that's all it
Yeah.
takes. You're dropping
I'm-
it like 70 feet per second.
I'm kind of a fan of the 9-inch thin mill like I had in the minimum diameter rocket.
Yeah, I got one of those too. I'm excited about it. My cute little baby parachute.
Yeah. But anyway, so I flew the Punisher, and it only had an RF tracker in it, like I normally do. I've been pretty outspoken about being not necessarily anti-GPS, but just that I don't, I didn't love the idea. I do see its purpose. So I, at this launch, got to experience GPS on the minimum diameter flight, which was perfect.
I will
also had
say
an RF
too, there was a few people that flew GPS at Alamosa that either lost a rocket or lost lock and it didn't come back for very far, or they didn't have any packets
Yeah.
past like 1,000 feet off the ground. So if they
Man,
had already
does
have tracker,
panic set in quick in that instance? People are straight up panicked.
yeah,
But so I had an RF tracker in the minimum diameter rocket as well, and I actually like the antenna was broken when I got it back. So that was like, I'm like, oh, I don't know that I would have found it if I didn't have the GPS in there.
dude, my LL antenna snapped off too. Granted, mine was getting thrashed pretty wildly, but
Well,
it seems like they're
this
kind
one
of
was still
fragile.
on there, but it just like where it attaches, I guess it was like broken. I don't know how
Right.
else to describe it. It wasn't severed, but it was broken. But I had another, so now I just I have extras because they're like $8 or something.
Uh-huh.
So I just swapped it out for the next flight and then put it in the Punisher. And I did not have the GPS in the Punisher, and I must say, I like the hunt.
It's
I'm
kind of
not
fun
ready to
sometimes.
give up on the RF tracking just yet. I'm
it's
going to
fun.
say over 15,000. I think GPS is going to be fun, but under that, I think I'm going to leave it out, because I think as I went on that long walk to hunt the beeps on my RF transmitter. I quite enjoyed it. If I had known exactly where it was, it would have just been a long, boring walk. But I am trying to find the rocket along the way, which made it more fun.
Me and the boys are going beep hunting.
Yeah. Well, it's just amazing that you can find something based on that lands so far away based on beeps. It's fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Matt, I think you should get a Mach 2 and do a high altitude flight at Alamosa next year. You can fly out of my tower, but the elevation's like 7,700 feet. You can it goes so high there. Rocket's like, I mean, Taylor's went 10,000 feet higher almost than his last M685 flight.
Wow.
The rocket was a little more optimal, but I actually do have to do an ad read real quick. Yes. This episode of the Anti-Gravity Group podcast is brought to you by rocketvlogs.square.site. No, not rocketvlogs.com. I said rocketvlogs.square.site, which is the only place you can get these fun little Nigel the Rocket Cat with the the red rocket that looks vaguely like another rocket that you may have seen before, depending on how the manufacturer of that rocket feels about it. This is the only place you can buy these stickers. Yeah. They are $6 a piece, which I know seems like a lot for this tiny little sticker, but there is some good news on that front. That includes shipping, for one, and two, all of the money from selling these, except for the money that I paid for them, is going to come back to me because I paid for them. Is going to the Punisher Fund to fly it at Airfest. If you guys haven't heard, we're flying it on a full White Lightning cluster that's full O. It's supposed to go like 15,000 feet. And if you want to know what motors they are, we can just ask Matt here in a minute. But the other good news is one of these stickers, I have 100 of them. So we got to sell all 100 of them for this little trick to work. One of them is going to come with a $150 Wildman gift certificate courtesy of Great Western Buildings. So you can get these at rocketvlogs.square.site. And $6 a piece. You can buy multiple if you want. If you want to buy 10, then your chances, I guess, increase of getting the little gift certificate thrown in there. Anyway, back to the podcast. Oh, hold on. I have a transition. All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's time we step into the mailbag segment. Wouldn't you agree?
I thought we already did that.
No, we just kind of
just email.
Yeah, I said that.
Yeah, what's the difference between
front loaded the whole thing,
email,
Taylor? The mailbag specifically, the prompt this week was to tell us your highest flights and your worst failures, because Taylor had his highest flight and I had my first Kato. Well, the first one that wasn't caused by me. The first one had no O-ring because I did it myself, but we don't need to get into that. We'll talk about that. You can go listen to our failures podcast, actually. I believe I outlined it in that. However, we got a lot of input on this one. There's 16 comments right now, so we're going to dive into those. And remember, if you want to partake in the conversation for the AGG podcast, you can go to patreon.com/rocketvlogs and sign up. It is free. The free membership is what gets you to discuss the podcast. So just, one more clarification there. You do not have to pay to join Patreon to be involved with the podcast mailbag segment. So check it out. Patreon.com/rocketvlogs. Dylan Bender says, my highest flight is to 13,600 feet from my level 3 on Performance Hobbies Performer 125 with an M1419. Oh, that's such a sick level 3 flight.
Yeah, it is.
My most spectacular failure was my level 1 attempt. My motor blew off the bottom of the rocket shortly after leaving the pad. Actually, real quick before I continue, Matt, do you want to tell us your highest flight and biggest failure, since we kind of talked about mine? My highest flight is my M1675 to 19,000, blah, 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 not 20,000 feet.
I think my highest is 13.5 on a L.
It's about 13.
It's about 13,000. I'm pretty sure it's 13,500 roughly. Thank you. And I think it was on the L 1949. Do I have that right?
1940. You were pretty close.
Yeah, okay, L1940. And you're really peeing me off, Braden.
Oh, sorry. Sorry about all that S.
I'm Jake King. I think biggest failure. I mean, clearly the battery incident was probably the biggest failure. I don't think I've. Oh well, and then maybe the D ring comes in, or the quick link. It's probably a close second. At least that was entertaining.
What about your Magnum just dumping it straight into the ground?
That was your doing. I put that on you.
Ooh.
I can't remember.
No, the one in Argonia, not the broken fin one. The one where it just took it.
Yeah,
That's
I
so
don't remember
crazy.
why that was. I forget what. I must have
I think the chute jammed, and then it decided to streamline.
It just came in ballistic and was perfectly fine. That's so awesome.
But it's so overbuilt.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, don't feel too bad about the demon because, some others of us in this group have put 75 millimeter hardware in the ground. Some of us many times. We've all had our fair share of destroying 75 millimeter hardware, except Postart, and believe me, it's coming.
Oh, he's got a level 3 to do.
Well, we can't let it happen on that one.
Yeah,
Afterwards.
I ordered the drogue for that today.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
he's actually
he didn't have you didn't have a drogue.
No.
That was the excuse for not building.
that was
it,
the one thing that's left. He actually was
kind of
talking
drogue
about
did you
targeting a TCC launch in July though.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
After flying the 3-inch Punisher, I'm like really excited about rockets again.
He's like, I do like rockets.
Yeah.
That's what we like to hear.
Fly rockets.
What kind of drogue did you get?
I got a 20-inch Recon.
Shout
'Cause
out
I
Wildman
had the,
Rocketry.
Yeah. Had the gift certificate from Midwest Power.
You still hadn't spent that?
No, so I shot Tim an email. I got a 12-inch and a 20-inch, and then he sent me an invoice for the difference.
All right, let's move on. UPS Rocket Man says, so far only 4750 at last year's LDRS. Our home field has a 5,000-foot waiver, but trees surrounding the field make flying above 3,000 feet sketchy. I hope to break 10,000 LDRS. Sick. I'll see you there. And yeah, I don't blame you at all for not flying high if trees are close.
Above 3,000 being sketchy is so crazy.
I know, dude.
Just don't. I mean, I could definitely adapt. I've flown rockets in Missouri before, and it's about like that. But I just don't like thinking about it. It sounds not fun. But you could fly a mini mag and have fun. So
You could have fun. All right, moving on. Corvette Rocks says 6,436 feet on a K800 NSL on the scratch-built Mac tube 4-inch, signed by astronaut Woody Hoberg, who gave a presentation at the banquet at LDRS last year. Shout out Woody Hoberg. I doubt he's going to see this, but yeah, let's get a round of applause for Woody Hoberg. And for Corvette Rocks. Rob Dodry says, my new PRs for altitude and velocity were NSL this year. I flew my first iMotor and I-175 Super White Lightning in my Lock 4. I know it's nothing like what you guys fly, but I'm still fairly new to high power. I actually resent that statement. I had a really good time when I went and flew only a G138 in my Aerotech Sumo, one of the Luzerne launches.
I've been enjoying flying 38 millimeter stuff in my Glass Sumo quite a bit, and the mini mag before it decided to die.
Yeah, that's that actually reminds me, we got one question not related to the podcast really, but it is on YouTube and it's really funny, so we're going to address it here at the end. He says 2,537 feet above ground level at 465 feet per second, hoping to fly the same rocket out of Jade later this year for my level 2. For anyone that's wondering, these guys are just as cool in person as they are on the show.
Who is that? Thank you. That's nice.
Rob Daughtry, and we have to give him a special shout out for having an entire case of Diet TDP on deck in his cooler the entirety of NSL.
Crazy.
So he was just every time
Matt,
we bought,
people were handing us Diet Dr. Peppers. It was
Whoa.
crazy.
it
It was
okay.
awesome.
That's enough of a reason to go.
So for anybody going to LDRS, I also like Rain energy drinks, particularly white gummy bear flavor or the watermelon warlord. If you can find it, bonus points if you can find a watermelon warlord.
What about the Red Dragon?
That's where
I
it's
was a
at.
big Red Dragon guy for a while, but it's warlord all day long. Neutronium says my current altitude record is 19,000 feet on a 75mm 5-grain Sparky L at Balls 2022. I've flown the same rocket to 24,000 feet on M1315, but the main didn't open. Sounds like a disqualifier, I guess. That's unfortunate. I've also flown H-13s to 18,000 feet twice before, but I've had recovery issues on both flights. My worst failure is probably the flight of my Wildman Mach 2 at Balls 2022. Charge size seemed fine on the ground, but it turned out to be insufficient in the air. It came in ballistic behind the flight line. Nobody was hurt, but it could have been bad. Honorable mention my H-14 flight at NSL this year, which went unstable out of the tower. Skywrote for a bit and then went full cruise missile. I still need to review this to figure out where I screwed that up. That was crazy because it
was
burns for
insane.
so long.
Yeah.
So it's just like woo, woo, and then it stabilized sideways and just went. I was like, there's no way that thing gets found. The rocket was like 6 inches long, but he found it. He
How
said,
did he
I
find
totally
it?
forgot my actually most spectacular failure. The M1780 from a level 3 attempt burned through a second into the burn, causing the whole rocket to come apart and cartwheel through the sky on fire. And he's linked a YouTube video, which I assume is mine because it's timestamped. I did get a great video of that. Sorry, Neutronium, but thank you for contributing to the fails compilation. I'm allowed to thank people for that because I've contributed this year. First time in a while I'll be in my own fail compilation. Sean Cooper says 23,000 feet with an M2045 blue and my 4-inch Punisher at FAR. I thought Taylor might enjoy that combination.
Whoa, wait, what? How high?
23,000. The M2045.
Nice. Yeah, I've flown that motor, but that's a 6-grain blue streak. Pretty sick.
Most spectacular failure has to be a drag separation at Mach 1.8 with my 38mm Blackhawk on a 6-grain XL J595 Blue. The rocket still did 14K in 2 pieces, and somehow I found the fabric hexagon that ripped off on my way home for the day. Sheer pins, boys and girls. That's sick.
My God.
Eric Beavers says 4-inch Punisher to 18,808 feet. GPS data and 18,453 feet from Missile Works. Wow, that's pretty close, but that's not how high it went, Eric. It went 18,808. The highest one is always the correct one. Shane bagged a super slick set of photos on it. Shout out rocketrypics.com. He continues, I've been fortunate and haven't had a flight failure yet. I did blow a hole in a cardboard airframe doing ground testing with centrifuge tubes. That was aggravating. He sent me a message.
Wait, is
after
that why he
He's
doesn't like cardboard anymore?
Yeah. He's like, I think I'm done with cardboard rockets now. Here's the trick: never ground test anything ever. Don't take that advice. We're gonna move on. Kevin Rulin says my max out is currently 13K at a Drago XL on a gloriously green M1500. My goal is to break 15,000, but I'm using a Punisher 4, so hoping for more. Yeah, easy more. M1850, baby, that'll get it done. Ryan Emmenegger says at NSL West last year, M1550 red to 17,500 feet in a modified DX3XL. Picture of it made to the website this year. Mad Cow? Oh, probably the NSL website. I see. Kevin Ruland is back. Most spectacular failure was a complete motor failure with an I-49. Opened the fin can like a banana at about 60 feet off the pad. Wildman shapeshifter 2-inch. Had to get rebuilt parts from Tim and Aerotech replaced the case under warranty. Well, that's nice at least.
Huh.
Did they replace the motor? I've always been curious about that. Jonathan Gabery says, my highest flight is 15,800 feet in my Punisher 3 at Airfest last year. I think that was the L1090 flight.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hopefully I'll break that and hit 20K at Airfest this year. Well, I hope you do, but I'll be jealous. My most spectacular failure was also at Airfest last year, being my Lock 5.5-inch Patriot on a K1103. Aft closure blew off and destroyed the entire upper part of the rocket. I believe I have a video of that as well. Yeah, he went so hard at Airfest last year. It was sick.
Yeah.
Nigel's here.
Yeah, shout out Nigel the Rocket Cat.
Dude, he's loving it.
He's saying to go to rocketvlogs.square.site and pick up one of the Nigel stickers. Remember, it's on site.
Oh.
Trevor Smith says, I am new into the high power stuff myself. Was able to get a Mad Cow DX3 2.6 to 3198 at 585 feet per second. Curious to hear your opinions of criteria of when a person should be considering starting to use shear pins in their rockets. Oh, that's an interesting. I mean, pretty much none of us put shear pins in cardboard rockets because they just rip them up. Your mileage, if it's a glass rocket, I have ones, or I have shear pins in a glass rocket into a plastic nose cone, but even my glass cardboard rocket, I don't have any on the bottom.
Yeah, I don't do it any, whether it's glass or not, none of my cardboard stuff, but I feel like the friction on the fit with the, like, there's just a little bit more friction with the cardboard. I just don't really feel it's super necessary, or usually the flights aren't extreme enough for it's like, if it for some reason did dump the main, it's not going to be, at least where I fly, it's not going to be super tragic.
Right.
But any glass kit, I'll throw shear pins in. So
yeah, it's actually an unpopular take too, but a lot of my glass kits don't have shear pins in the bottom section either. I usually just put them in the nose because
I like doing it on the bottom section too, because then it can fit pretty loose.
Yeah, I mean, mine still kind of do, but I'm just like, it'll be fine. Nothing could ever go wrong here. My 3-inch Punisher never has any. Watch, I'm going to throw that K2045 in. It's just going to drag separately.
Yeah, dude, that would be the flight to do it too.
Yeah, maybe I'll put some shear pins in there.
Don't do that. It'll be better this way.
Oh yeah, I can be in my own fail compilation twice in 1 year.
Yeah.
Certified level 3 at NSL. Super stoked. Kurt Ehrenman, I believe is how the last name is said. He's the one that flew the M1350 that just went crazy hard.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to remember if I filmed it or not. So I'm digging through NSL stuff probably tomorrow and should find it. 4-inch Mac Performance Zodiac with an Aerotech M1350. It went 16,213 feet. In the words of Sly Stone, gonna take you higher. I'm still amazed with the error-free. I've flown error-free for the last couple of years. A couple of tangled shoots notwithstanding. Yeah, that's a good track record. Keep it up for as long as you can, like Postard is. Kevin Turner says level 3 flight at Black Rock in 1996. Oh my God, this is cool. M1939 minimum diameter scratch bill rocket to 26,776 feet. Dude, a minimum diameter level 3 in 96 is crazy hard.
That's sick.
Wow. All right, shout out Kevin Turner. That's crazy cool. Man, the OG minimum diameter cert people, like I think we've talked about it several times on the podcast, but Jim Jarvis's level 3 was just. I brought this up recently with Eric, actually, because he got shut down on doing an end for his level 3. And I was like, well, Jim Jarvis did it like 40,000 feet in like Mach 4 in 2003, 2002? It was at Texas, right? And he's like, well, I'm not Jim Jarvis. I was like, well, Jim Jarvis wasn't Jim Jarvis at that time either. He wasn't flying stuff 100,000 feet yet. Like, that was insane. Alex says, my personal best is 14,807 feet in my Wildman Motor Eater 98 that I call Birds Aren't Real. It went up last year at Airfest on an Aerotech M1780. I'm hoping to push it up to 20K with an Aerotech M1850 this year. We'll see how that goes. That's sick. That is going to haul A. I'm lucky to be able to say my worst failure date was a textbook case of main parachute stuck in the nose cone. I have a head-end dual deploy rocket. That flight was during the winter when it was colder and the chute was just too tight to fit to want to come out that day. I since moved to a top flight thin mill chute in that rocket, and now I have space to spare when I pack everything. Can we get a round of applause for the thin mill top flight chutes? They're so good. I bought one for my minimum diameter 3-inch, and the difference between that and the like normal thickness fabric, the packing tightness is so crazy. It's like a third of the size.
Dang.
Also, shout out to the ultra lightweight sphere chutes.
Yeah, true.
I just bought one for the minimum diameter rocket, which did not open. So that's cool, but they're so silky and nice.
Well, let's not You kind of made it sound like it didn't open because of what it is.
Oh,
Let's
sorry.
Remind everybody that all your black powder came out in your rental car.
It didn't open because I'm dumb. The parachute was functioning properly.
And it's silky.
You're like, yeah, they're cool chutes, but they don't open for some reason.
They open awesome when they're not bound with a zip tie. How about that?
Dude, I do want to get some fun parachutes. Like, I want a spherachute, however you say it. Front Range Rocketry makes some cool stuff. Of course, I want an
French
Iris
fry?
Ultra. Yeah, I
Yeah,
want the French fry chute, happy shoots,
Yeah.
dude. If that guy's listening to this podcast, please. Matt wants to do a Brahms-themed rocket, and the French fry parachute would be so perfect. Or if you could make an ice cream cone, that would be Oh, but the rocket's supposed to be an ice cream cone, right?
Yeah, at least that.
Yeah,
at least
that's a little
the
redundant.
nose cone, yeah.
The French fry chute is the play, though, for sure.
Yeah.
Dude, you want to do the ice cream cone is the nose cone, not the shape of the whole rocket?
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
With
Dude,
burger fins.
oh,
yeah,
I'm going to
cheese
3D
roll.
print you a nose cone, so you have to do it.
All right.
But yeah, so if you feel like donating a French fry chute to the cause for Matt's Brahms rocket, please. Oh, you could do chicken strip fins.
No.
You could do strakes. It'll be like a standard arm, but with burger fins and chicken strip strakes.
Oh my god.
I was thinking
Matt
cheese
really likes the
slices,
yogurt, though. Maybe he could do
Yeah.
a yogurt cup fin.
a yogurt cup fin.
Yeah. Oh, he has the Dunkin' Donuts one too, though. Or sorry, the DD
Yeah.
drink. You could just not put that logo on there, and it could be a milkshake parachute too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, Brian Kelsey, welcome to Patreon, the newest member of the Rocky Vlogs Patreon. Ether. I don't know what I was going to say there. I structured that sentence badly. It says highest recorded flight is 2502. I don't know if any of my small rockets ever went higher. Well, if you don't know, then the answer is they did. That's the thing. You can't prove it, but nobody can disprove it. So I'm sure you flew an Alpha on a C65 and it went 5,400 feet just because. But yeah, thanks for joining and thanks to everybody for chiming in. I'm going to refresh it
Braden,
one
did
more
you tell
time.
everyone what your record is?
Yeah, we talked about it earlier.
Did we? Postart, did you hear him say what it was?
I'm trying to remember.
Was it like 19?
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
You know what, Taylor?
I need to stop because I'm gonna get karma again on my next flight.
Yours is 32 and change. We already saw, according to this comment, that the main coming out main not coming out disqualifies you, and the fins broke off. So
You know, the people that I've talked to say that recovery does not dictate whether a flight is successful.
well, listen. I'm going to be rubbing it in your face when my N1000 goes 54,000 feet at Black Rock and I pick it up with all four fins still attached. You know why? Because I'm going to degas the fillets. Okay?
Braden's gonna make me redo this flight next year.
Dude, I'm going to pressure Taylor so much until he buys an N. It's got to happen.
He was trying to get me to buy an N earlier today.
There's an N5600 in stock. Wildman has one. You won't find another one for like 2 years. He was like, oh, I don't have the $1,200. I was like, well, I didn't have $1,400 when I bought my N1560. That's the magic of credit cards. That reminds me, I have to read this comment.
Oh, it's so good.
Wait, which comment are you thinking of? Because I'm talking about one
Oh.
that just came in. It's fresh off the
never mind.
presses.
I thought it was the one you sent me earlier.
The asking if we're stoned or just pretending to be one? I guess pretending in that, if those are the options.
Yeah, we get it. We sound monotone. It's fine.
You guys
Yeah.
sound monotone. I don't.
Yeah, Matt's
doesn't.
out there. Matt
Yeah.
balances it all out. Matt's the reason people are still here. We talked about this last week.
No.
If Matt showed up every week, then people wouldn't even know what to do. They would quit tuning in.
Yeah, they'd be like, "Oh, I'm over it."
If Matt showed
Okay.
up every week, we'd have 10,000 listeners.
This is true, though. But yeah, no, I've told people for a long time that all think I'm a huge stoner, that I have like a THC gland, so it's just always pumping. Anyway, This guy says, "Can you tell us starving rocket builders how exactly you're paying for all of your rocket stuff and this house? Thanks." That was the whole comment. Listen, I got to give a shout out to our sponsors over there at Capital One and Citibank and First Financial Bank.
Chase Morgan
for sure.
Bank of
Yeah,
America.
Wells Fargo. I've got a
and
couple.
as far as paying for rockets and the house, I'm getting ready. I'm gonna have to sell it.
yeah. That's a fun little tidbit. Also, we rent this house and I split it with Postart, so our rent is under $1,000 a month each. So that's how we manage that. And genuinely, as far as affording all of this stuff, it's all thanks to you guys watching right now. Rocket Vlogs is brought to you by these partners and contributions to your local station from viewers like you. So I will say I'm contributing a lot of my own money as well, but the dumb purchases like impulse buying and end motor all come courtesy mainly of our friends over at https, I hope you're listening, patreon.com/rocketvlogs. That is how much of this is possible. And our friends over at Great Western Buildings, and especially because I work for them now. Basically, it's a direct deposit into the Rocket Fund at this point.
Yeah, like my race car sponsored by David Hawkins Construction, which
Right.
just means he sponsors my paycheck.
Yeah.
Thank you for continuing to give me a paycheck.
But I mean, this actually does genuinely come up a lot, especially with like the 12-inch Punisher, or when we're flying big motors, or when we're traveling a lot. It is just genuinely that we probably make fairly questionable financial decisions for the sake of a hobby, but then don't most people that have a hobby?
Yeah, but you see all the good times we're having?
That's what I'm saying.
That's why we do it.
The real good credit score was the friends we made along the way.
Exactly.
Matt, tell the people how you do it. You own a house.
I guess the
He's
Garmin
like, I quit
sponsorship-
flying rockets.
No.
He finished college. That's what he
he's,
did.
he's an
he finished
engineer with a
college.
degree. Funny how that
Yeah.
worked out, huh?
Yeah, I suppose so.
That's a popular answer in the rocket community,
It really
actually.
is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's pretty much it, unless you guys have something to add.
Didn't you have a YouTube comment?
That was the one asking about how we afford the
okay.
house and the rockets.
Oh, yeah. I see.
Oh, big shout out to not having kids. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one helps.
That one helps a lot, actually.
Can you read the one from earlier today?
Yeah, the stoned one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see. Where is that?
He's just so angry. I'd like for everyone to know. How about everyone go?
No. Stop right
Sorry.
there. I don't think he's angry. I think he's just
You don't think
joking,
so?
and it doesn't come through
Oh.
well. He says, "Are you
that
guys
is
just
difficult.
stoned or pretending? We can't tell. Can I send you
Brad?
to help? You all seem like you just finished half a nickel bag. Anyway, I don't see the need. I get enough joy from designing and building." Wait, why do you have to send if you don't see the need? I'll be at LDRS even though I can't walk, which is where it took a crazy turn. I'll be counting on those around me for help. They will be paid back. Presumably not with
Loud.
sounds like.
Maybe.
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he's giving everyone.
Oh, that's possible. He doesn't see the need, but it's like a great transactional. He's like, wait, pick up my
Dude, are
rocket.
you gonna have to,
Well, no, I think
you
you're
gonna have
saying
to
he didn't
bleep
see
this?
the need for out of production kits because he can just design his own.
I actually don't know how that works, Postart, because of the
I think
YouTube
YouTube
thing.
doesn't like the word. Yeah.
What word?
Oh yeah, some
Oh, the
pack.
W word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I might actually censor that.
Yeah.
Some herb, some plant.
Some loud.
Yeah,
Sage.
a couple zips of
Some
loud.
grass.
Yeah.
Wow. I wonder if I can talk
Oregano.
Wacky tobacco. But yeah, no, the answer is
It's a
that
great
no.
cake.
None of
good
us yeah, it is. None of us are high, so I hope that answers the question. We just sound like we are all the time. And honestly, Wouldn't have it any other way. It's just not the same, man.
Man.
Does anybody else have anything else to add, or can we bring this to an end? This is getting way
We
off
should
the rails.
probably end it. Yeah.
We'll save the rest
Yeah.
of this off the rails nonsense for the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Braden Carlson. You can find me right here on YouTube at Rocket Vlogs, or you can find me on Instagram at BigB1011 and Patreon.com/Rocket Vlogs for behind the scenes stuff and early releases of videos and podcast episodes.
My name is Taylor, and you can find me on YouTube at the Rocket Channel. I have footage, just need to edit it, so do it. Keep checking in on that.
My name is Shane or Posthart. You can find me on YouTube at Posthart Propulsions, or I have pictures from NSL up on rocketrypics.com.
My name is M, or you can call me Macho. Macho Match, and I'm just right here on the interwebs.
He's just vibing. He's
I'm
absolutely vibing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not stoned too.
That's it, folks. In completion, once again with Macho Matt here, we are the Anti-Gravity Group. This is the Anti-Gravity Group podcast, and we will see you next time.